Some people talk about they're going to write a book about their life story, and they're so angry at people in their life who've done bad things to them. So like, yeah, I'm going to write my life story. I'm going to publish this book. But imagine if you wrote it as a screenplay. Not only would you get to, control what. Well, the thing about the screenplay, if you write about yourself, because I wrote a screenplay that was partially autobiographical, but it was all metaphorical. All the characters were Edgar Allan Poe characters, and I only wrote about the 3 years that I was in college. A lot of people don't realize that. It's like if I wrote a book about my life, there would be people who would be like scared, or they would be like, "Oh my God, I wonder what he wrote about me." It's like, wrote about you? No, I knew a bunch of people decades before I met you. So my best friends don't even realize that. My best friends don't even think about that. It's like, no, I went to college before I graduated college before I met you. I had a bunch of friends in college. A bunch of things happened, and that's the easiest thing. So it's like, I wouldn't be writing my life story. I'm not Ray Charles. I would write about some shit that happened in college, like the movie Rules of Attraction. The dude just wrote about a semester in college or whatever. So the thing that you got to think about is, you write your screenplay about your life story. Who's gonna direct it? That's very important. Who's gonna direct it? Now this is alive or dead, because it's not about the director being alive. This is just their style. So imagine you wrote your life story, and they say, "Yeah, we got Quentin Tarantino to do your life story," and it's like, it's gonna be the N word said a lot for one, and the shit, your shit gonna be all out of order. It's like it's gonna start at the end, then it's gonna jump to the middle, and then somebody gonna die, and then it's gonna jump back. I like that. He did that better in Pulp Fiction than Jackie Brown did. And then there was that movie, Snake Eyes with Snake Eyes with Nicolas Cage. That movie was just okay. It kind of had that it tried to do a Quentin Tarantino type thing, but what it did was it didn't do it out of order. It just jumped back and showed a different person's perspective. That's all. Okay. So then another thing, they'll say, okay, we gave you a screenplay, your life story, to Steven Spielberg. There's going to be aliens in that motherfucker. Luckily, I've written a lot about aliens. And I created a lot of aliens. At some point in my life story, aliens show up and abduct me. Okay? That's like toward the climax. There's this thing that has to be revealed. You're the emissary to Bajor, some bullshit like that. Okay, then or you get Robert Zemeckis. I have to apologize to Robert Zemeckis. I was at SIU, and The Frighteners was at the goddamn College Theater, and I did not go see it. I'm still kicking myself about that. I did not see The Frighteners in the theater. I mean, oh my God. Marty McFly fighting ghosts. That movie was so action packed, and what's his name was in there? The Question. Jeffrey Combs. Jeffrey Combs from Beyond. He was in it. Okay. Or your life story screenplay could go to Guillermo del Toro. Man, there'd be all kind of elaborate monsters and shit. The face will be opening up. Blade shows up. He chopping them up, and then a kaiju. Oh yeah, the one movie with the kaijus and stuff, and then you get in a giant mech, and there's got to be a whole a dream sequence or something. I go to sleep, and then I'm in the Pacific Rim with Blade fighting kaiju, and then vampires show up, but they're not regular vampires. They're vampires where the faces open up, and there's a thing with the hands, you know, there's an eyeball in the hands and shit. That really happened. True story. Okay. Or my favorite, you get Satoshi Kon. You get Satoshi Kon to do your life story. If you got Satoshi Kon, Master Satoshi Kon, rest in peace. If you got Satoshi Kon to do your life story, you got to watch out for little boys on rollerblades hitting people with a hockey stick. No, you got to, there's going to be parades, giant parades with all kind of animals and like the little Chinese cat thing like this and frogs and there's confetti and then there's a girl flying on a cloud with the Monkey King staff because she turned into the Monkey King, and then like there's all these dream like basically there's dreamlike sequences, like you'll be sitting somewhere in a room and then you'll hear something in the hallway and you hear some music and it's like it's down the hall and then the doors will bust open and then like 1,000 freaking animals and creatures and stuff come running into the room with you guys. You're like, what the fuck is this? And then, you know, instead of like when they cut to the next scene, there's no wipes. There's like, when they cut to the next scene, you like get up and you run. And when you run out the room, you run into the feudal era Japan. And then when you run into the next room, you're like on another planet. And then when you run into the next room, you're seeing yourself when you were a little kid and there was a traumatic experience or something, and you're seeing that because in the Satoshi Kon movie, there's no wipes. It's not like Star Wars where it's like, there's no wipes. There's no transitions like that. It's like the character runs and then they're in another scene, but it's not like you were in the store and you ran outside and you were outside in the parking lot. It's like you were in the store and you ran outside, and it's like there's dragons and there's knights fighting outside and there's a castle in the background and there's green grass and there's no parking lot because it's Satoshi Kon. Also, I forgot because it wasn't made into a movie. If Satoshi Kon is the director of your life story, you're sitting there, you're drawing, and you put the drawing down and you leave, and you come back, and the character is there scolding you, saying, hey, when are you going to finish this comic book? And you're like, what? I'm drawing this. Who drew this? And then the character's like, you look away and come back, and then the character's in the comic book, and they're like, hey, when are you going to finish this comic book? And it's like, huh? And then the character reaches from out the comic book and grabs you and pulls you in. So then you get sucked into the comic book, and the only thing that you see around you is the stuff that you already drew in the comic book. And that's in the movie. Because that's your opus. That's your opus. In fact, hold on. Because that's your opus. So you end up, at some point in your movie, you end up in the book. You end up in the book. So you can't hold it like American. This is American style holding the book. You got to hold it like this because it's not American style. It's manga. So you end up, you end up like the people on the cover. You the author. The movie is about you writing your book, and then the characters from your book, they know this is the last book. So since this is the last book, and they're sentient like Deadpool. Okay, I don't even know if Satoshi Kon knew who Deadpool was, but since the character, well, at least one of the characters in the book is sentient like Deadpool, so they're like, no, motherfucker, you're not gonna end this book. You're gonna keep this shit going, so that I have things to do. That I'm alive. It's almost like a hologram on Star Trek complaining that they don't get to do enough because the holodeck is not on all the time. Usually with Star Trek though, the holograms kind of complain. The holograms complain about being active too long. Like when Nog had that Italian lounge singer guy as his friend. He lived with that guy for like probably think a week. He lived with that hologram of that Italian lounge singer. He lived with him for like a week or something. And by the end of the week, the lounge singer was like, "Hey man, this has been fun, but I'm Mr. Meeseeks." No, Mr. Meeseeks, Mr. Meeseeks, Mr. Meeseeks. Fucking Rick and Morty. No, but yeah, like the hologram is like, "Hey man, it's been fun hanging out with you for a whole fucking week nonstop." But that ain't how holograms work. I'm a hologram. I guess it's almost like you got to shut it off so he can recharge. Like we got to go to sleep. So the hologram told Nog, he's like, "Dude, this has been fun, but you got to get the fuck up out of here because, I got to go. I got to, shut down. I can't be with you all the time. And I'm not supposed to be active. I'm a program in a holodeck. I'm not supposed to be active 24/7 for a whole week or 2 weeks or a month or whatever the hell it was on that episode. You got to go back to your life." But in Satoshi Kon's book, it's more about, hey, I don't appreciate the fact that you're going to kill my character off or whatever. So, cut that shit out. You're not killing me off. You're gonna finish this story, but you're gonna continue the story. And so the characters in Opus, the main character in Opus, the male character, he kidnaps the writer or whatever, and makes him live in the world that he created. And there's a serial killer running around, and there's a girl who's a cop and all that stuff. So basically, yeah, Satoshi, I would love it if Satoshi Kon wasn't dead. Right. So I would love for Satoshi Kon to do my life story. That would, yeah. Or Satoshi Kon, oh my God. That ain't gonna work. What? Satoshi Kon directing Duck Girl. But actually, you need like Wu Ping. You and Wu Ping and Sue Hark would be the directors to hire, and fucking Stephen Chow. Wu Ping, Sue Hark, Stephen Chow. Those are the people that should be doing the Duck Girl movie because it's like mostly martial arts. But Satoshi Kon, definitely Satoshi Kon for the sequel. And only parts, because there's only parts that are dreamlike. Right, there's only parts in Duck Girl Crane Go to College that would be dreamlike. So that's about it. I mean, Tarantino, Zemeckis, Spielberg, Guillermo del Toro, Satoshi Kon. I didn't mention any women. Greta. Oh, Greta Gerwig. Oh, wow. If Greta Gerwig did my life story, it would end abruptly. I love the movie Lady Bird, but it's like if she does your life story, it's going to be just like Lady Bird. It's like, this stuff happens, this stuff happens, this stuff happens. Conflict with the parents. This stuff happens, this stuff happens, this stuff happens. You finally get the hell away from your parents. You go off to school. You move to New York or LA. And then at the end, you're like, "Oh, thank you, Mom." And then the movie ends. And you're like, what the fuck was that? That movie's like, a regular movie's like, da, 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 da. Oh, escalation. You got this, you got the escalation of things happening, and then more things happen, there's more tension, and then you have the conflict, and then things happen, and it's like a denouement where it goes, things slow down, and then there's a funeral for Tony Stark. No, no, Greta Gerwig is like it's the same tone the whole movie. It's the same tone the whole movie, except Barbie, I guess. But Barbie was different. Barbie is not G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe follows the same pattern as the Avengers. G.I. Joe goes on a mission, or the Joes go on a mission. They have a setback, they have a setback, they have a setback. Or like the TV show, G.I. Joe. Monday they lose, Tuesday they lose, Wednesday they lose, Thursday they lose, Friday they win. That's how you write G.I. Joe. Yeah. But anyway.